Vampire Mall Cop, Damien versus the Entrail Eater, by Molly Blake. Chapter 1. The Surprise Visitor. A knock on the door commands my undivided attention. I step back from what I'm doing and stare, utterly baffled as to who or what or why it could be. No one should be at my door. My ears must be playing tricks on me. Nobody should be able to find this place. It's high up in the mountains, so high that the extreme cold and lack of oxygen would kill most living creatures that dare wander near. That's why it's perfect. Maybe it's just a tree. Yes, a tree branch, scraping against my cabin door. That must be it. I shake off my jitters and turn back to the stove. Wait, no. There aren't any trees nearby. I'm too high up for trees. If not tree, then what? The knock comes again, as well as a weak wheeze that could be interpreted as a help. Well, that settles it. I'd better get the door. I move the pot off the stove to keep my fruit from burning, then take my double-barreled shotgun from its rack on the wall. I load in 2 cartridges and creep to the door. Only someone hell-bent on finding me would get this far. I'll see to it that they don't get any further. I fling the door open and point my gun at the person in front of me. "Who are you? What do you want?" I shout. Someone hidden in a dark parka gasps. "Oh my gosh," he says softly, more to himself than to me. Then he laughs, weakly. "Damir Beloff," he wheezes. "I finally found you." Then he collapses. I hop back before he can faceplant on my feet. I stare at the unconscious man before me, a sense of dreadful horror rising in my throat like vomit at the sound of my old name. How does he know? How does he know? How did he find me? Is he from the KGB? Smersh? No, he can't be Russian intelligence. He sounds American. Surely they wouldn't want an American going after me, would they? I thought they'd want to keep me a secret, considering I made them look bad back in Magadan. I doubt they'd be telling the Americans about me and the grief I caused them. Even if they did send one, it wouldn't be alone, surely. Not in this climate and terrain. I look out at the dark and the snow. Unless there are more out there. I can't see any signs of reinforcements. There's only one set of footprints leading up to my cabin. Well, technically there are 0. My visitor didn't leave prints. More like a long powdery white trench behind him. Like he was quite literally dragging himself up to my door. Besides that, I don't see anything else that would indicate other people accompanying him. But that means nothing. Special ops would know how to hide. My gaze falls back to the unconscious body on my doorstep. Could this be a trap? Maybe? Was he supposed to lure me outside into the clutches of waiting assassins? Is he the assassin, and was he supposed to kill me when I opened the door? He did a poor job in that case. Perhaps this is the trap. Get me to pity this frail little human and take him in so that he can murder me once my back is turned? Not the smartest plan. Not when he's passed out and can't do anything to me. I can't think of any benefit to him being unconscious could have. Do I take him in then? Or do I let him die in the cold? I'd hate to waste a meal. But if this is a trap, I want to know how he knows my name. If he freezes, that knowledge dies with him. And if he does have backup and they decide to siege the house, having him as leverage could be advantageous. I hang up the gun and drag him in by the backpack straps. The pack is nearly his exact size. Icicles cling to his hair and hood, and his face is mottled blue and red. That can't be good. The beginning of frostbite, probably. Something. Sweat? Snot? Had run down his face once. It's frozen now. I triple lock the door behind us, then help him shed his pack and a few layers of jackets. He has far too many. He was sweating for what looked like this whole climb. The jackets are soaked and freezing around him, trapping him in a cocoon of salt and fabric and slush. It looks like he took a plunge along the way, too, and didn't even strip down to keep himself from freezing alive. How did someone so blatantly inept at winter hiking survive a trek to one of Alaska's most desolate mountains alone? How did he find me? How was he still conscious when he found me? How is he still alive at all? I take his pack and the outermost layer of clothing. That stuff still might have things in the pockets, and shut them in the closet. I'll go through it later to see what he's about, when his life isn't in peril. I toss the other soaking layers aside, and as I'm pulling dry clothes on him, something on the back of his neck burns my hand. I whip it away, hissing softly in pain. A tendril of smoke curls up from my skin. I roll him onto his side. 2 glowing symbols light up his neck. One orange, one light blue. They pulse in unison, but they're dimmer and dimmer with each beat. I watch until they fade completely. Strange, I murmur. Then I finish getting an old set of pajamas on him. They are huge, but they're at least dry. I light the wood in the fireplace and drag him over to lay in front of it. I get him a pillow, too. He needs heat, I know that much. I need to get his blood to flow quicker so that he warms up on his own. I set some snow to boil and soak some rags in it once it's warm. I wrap the wet rags around his hands and feet and stick some rolled up ones under his arms. With my one remaining cloth, I carefully clean the frozen junk off of his face. I feel a sense of satisfaction when his skin returns to a normal color. Who'd have thought I'd remember how to treat human hypothermia after so many years? I drape some blankets over the man. Not much else I can do for him except change the rags when they grow cold and wait for him to wake up. I grab my shotgun and watch through the windows, looking for anyone who might come for this man. I see nothing but the swirling snow. Maybe he is alone. Anyone accompanying him would surely point out how stupid this man is for keeping wet clothes on in sub-zero temperatures. Such a thing is common sense for humans, right? They're warm-blooded. They need to keep their immediate surroundings warm too, or they'll freeze and die. Did he not know that? Why was finding me so important that he'd put himself in so much danger? I squint at him, trying to piece everything together. Is he dangerous? Not in any way I can ascertain. Maybe there was some bomb planted on him, rigged to go off if I start draining his blood. Or maybe his blood has been poisoned. I didn't notice any bombs while removing his clothing, and he didn't smell poisoned. Besides, neither of those would kill me, so why even bother? And why would he be so excited to see me if he was sent here by his comrades to die? It doesn't make any sense. The man is so small and certainly weak. He appears harmless enough, but somehow he knows that I am Damir Belov. What other dangerous things lie trapped in his head? What does he want with me? I glance toward the closet. Answers are probably in his pack. He's still asleep, and I have time to do some search before he regains his consciousness. I take the things that I shut in my closet to my room and lay them out on my bed. The jacket pockets yield nothing useful. A few protein bar wrappers, empty trail mix bags, a few pine cones. Then, in a hidden pocket on the inside, a silver dagger. My eyes widen and I clench my fist. He was going to try something. I wad up the jacket, return to the closet, and toss the knife out the window. As I do a discreet check-in on the human. He's still asleep. Though for how long he'll be, I can't say. His breathing sounds so slow, so shallow. I clap my hands in front of his face and he doesn't even twitch. It seems the climb thoroughly knocked him out. So regardless of his murderous intentions, I'll be safe as I investigate. I head back to the bedroom. I pile the camping and climbing gear up on the headboard. Most of his things fall into that category. Anything that doesn't, I lay in front of me. I find a few things of interest. In the first pocket, wrapped in a thick sweatshirt, are a number of bottles with mysterious liquids and powders inside. Some of the vials are plain glass ones with the cork stoppers. Others look like they were made by hollowing out a crystal. Some are empty, their contents used. But for what? I keep searching the bag, keeping my ears focused on the sound of the man's breathing so I know that it's steady. Just below the balled-up sweatshirt, I see a carved wooden figurine. It shimmers slightly, though how, I can't tell. And there's a jewel embedded in the center. Below the little statue are more camping supplies. The second pocket is a camera that I can't turn on, and 2 books. One is a notebook. The other is an English to Russian dictionary. Spy, I think when I see it, and bare my teeth a little. I open the notebook, eager to find out what he knows about me. I'm disappointed. Only the first 2 pages have anything on them. Page 1 is filled with a key to Cyrillic characters and their corresponding sounds in the English alphabet. Pretty ordinary stuff. The next page is a list of vocabulary words and phrases, seemingly random. I go down the list. Privot de Bresser. Hello, good sir. Pomoshi. Assistant. Torgovi Sentir. Shopping mall. Sataria Zenchichna. Old woman. Jest. Eat. Optala. Payment. Vampire. Well, that one's obvious. I squint and read the list again, trying to figure things out. What could this all mean? Is it just random vocabulary practice, or could this have been something to do with why he's up here? Does he want to pay me to eat some old woman? Is he a killer too scared to get the job done? He doesn't want to get his hands dirty? Well, he came a long way to ask me such a stupid thing. I used to hunt communists back in the USSR, but I wasn't paid for it. Informants bought safe passage sometimes, but they weren't paying me to take out targets. The hunt was its own reward back then, and I tried my hardest not to kill innocents. What's this old woman done? I'm not going to kill some random babushka if that's what this man is thinking. I close the book when I hear him move. He's awake, I think at first, and rush to be there when he wakes up. But no, he's just shifted in his sleep. Instead of lying on his back like how I left him, he's pulled his knees up to his chest and rolled onto his side, back to the fire. I stand over him, staring at the helpless little creature as he pulls the blanket tighter around himself and settles down with a sigh. Huh. Perhaps not so helpless then? If he has the energy to at least roll over, his prospects don't look bad. I could have sworn that he was much weaker. Well, I'll leave him be for now. Let him rest while I continue searching his things. My little prisoner has much to explain when he comes to.